I am David Cade, the CEO of the American Health Law Association. Each year, the Board of Directors approves a slate of esteemed individuals selected by the Fellows Coordinating Council as AHLA Fellows. These longtime members have shown a commitment to the association through their participation as speakers, authors, mentors, and leaders. They are regarded as one of the top health law professionals in the legal community, and all have been actively practicing in AHLA and the health law profession for 15 or more years. While the bios for these new fellows are posted on the AHLA website, it is just a snapshot of their many accomplishments. I want to give you a chance to hear from them personally and learn more about why they deserve the Fellows honor. The 2023 Fellows class includes 8 exceptional individuals. Today, I have the distinct honor to be speaking with Rob Niccolini. Rob, welcome. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, David. Thank you.
It's good to see you. It's good to get a chance to spend a little time with you. So let's start off with, how does it feel to be an AHLA Fellow?
It makes me feel very old, very honored, but very old.
You are not old, my friend. You are not old. Just distinguished.
Oh.
So why did you go to law school? And why did you select health law as a career area?
So I went to law school, honestly, because I'd always been involved in debate. Thought that being in court would be a wonderful thing. So went off to law school thinking I was going to be spending my days in a courtroom. I ultimately settled on labor and employment as my practice area. And as an associate, I was very, very lucky to work with a lot of hospitals, especially hospitals in the Baltimore, DC corridor. And so developed a bit of a niche and expertise in working with hospitals and other healthcare providers in the labor and employment arena. And so that's really how I fell into healthcare and working with healthcare providers.
And if you brought your litigation experience to the health law community, and then there's the rest of the story.
Yeah. And I do have to say, as I look back on my 30+ year career, I haven't spent nearly as much time in a courtroom as I had hoped to, but have spent a lot of time in hospitals and before boardrooms, helping them through some difficult situations. So it's been very, very gratifying.
So how has AHLA helped you remain connected with your health law colleagues?
Well, I have always joked that I'm not really a healthcare lawyer. I'm a labor and employment attorney who represents a lot of hospitals and healthcare entities. So I bring a lot of expertise to the AHLA and the AHLA and my AHLA colleagues, but honestly, I've become incredibly dependent upon those colleagues as well. When it comes to healthcare regulatory expertise, healthcare corporate expertise, the AHLA has always been there for me, and my colleagues in the AHLAs have always been there for me to make sure that I know enough to do what I need to do.
The network is strong.
Absolutely.
It's strong. So if a new AHLA member asked you how to get involved in the association, what would you tell them?
Well, I became very involved in the AHLA as a young associate through practice groups, specifically through the labor and employment practice group. I went to a practice group meeting at an annual meeting back in San Antonio, met a number of wonderful people. Next thing I knew, I was doing some writing for the labor and employment newsletter. That led to me doing some speaking. Then I ultimately became a vice chair, then a chair, and on it went. So I think the best advice I could give to young lawyers is whatever your interest is, whatever your practice area is, the AHLA has groups that are devoted to that, and just get to know those people and get involved. To the extent that you want to be involved, there are real opportunities out there for you.
So get involved is the strong message. Don't miss
Absolutely.
the opportunities to get involved. I like that. I like that. So you talked about your 30+ years. We know, you haven't been in the courtroom as much as you thought you would have been. There's another 30 years ahead of you where you'll get a chance to spend a little more time in the courtroom. But if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, if you look back on your career, what would it be?
I think the advice I would probably give my younger self is try to enjoy the moment more. We as lawyers, we tend to be focused so much on our to-do lists, focused so much on our deadlines, everything we have to do for our clients, for our firms, for our organizations. And all those things are really important. But sometimes you can get so focused on your deadlines and your to-do lists that you forget to enjoy what you're doing. And I will say, over the years, I've tried very hard through the AHLA and through my firm to make sure wherever I'm going for clients, wherever I'm going for the AHLA, I try and take some time out to enjoy myself, to see the cities we're visiting, to spend time with friends. Work is important, but work is not the be all and end all. So try and enjoy what you're doing.
Enjoy what you're doing and focus on the moment. I think that's a good bumper sticker. I think we can work on that and split the profits. Focus on the moment. I love that.
We'll donate it to the AHLA. How about that?
A good idea.
Okay.
So can you share with us a little bit about what you see are the traits that are most important in being an effective health lawyer?
I think being a health lawyer is no different than being a corporate lawyer, an M&A lawyer, a litigation lawyer. I always tell my new associates, the two things that it really takes to be a lawyer. The first is that you just have to be down in the weeds. You have to be willing to do the work, to know your area. And then the second thing is, and I think in some ways this is probably even more important. You have to care about your clients. Ultimately, what we do as lawyers, whether it's a healthcare lawyer or any type of lawyer, is we help to solve our clients' problems. And what clients want more than anything is a lawyer who cares about their problems more than they do. And if you're always focusing on your clients' needs, if you're always focusing on how to solve their problems, and you're down in the weeds to do that, I think that's what really makes a good lawyer.
Focus on the client, solve the problem, understand the client's needs. A powerful message, a very, very powerful message. I will have to again make sure that the listening audience pays attention to these gems. You made a reference earlier to kind of having fun, living in the moment, experiencing the moment. Don't let the moment pass you by. And when you travel, you make sure that you pause a little bit. As we strive, all of us, I think, to have better balance in our lives, what does Rob do for fun?
Well, I'm lucky, David, to have known you for a lot of years, and I get bored very easily, so I have a tendency to keep up a lot of things outside the practice of law. I've been my whole life an amateur magician. I do a lot of performances for children, especially through my church and through some of the hospitals that I represent. I think it's a fun way to have a lot of fun. I play way too much poker, both at some places in Maryland and DC and out in Las Vegas when I can. And between those hobbies, I also try to spend as much time with my family as I can. We're lucky all my kids are in their 20s and up now, but we're still trying to spend as much time with them as we can.
That's important, and what I love about your reference to magic, how you practice it, you do it in a giving way. You're out in the community, you're in the church, you're in the hospitals that you serve as a lawyer. Again, always giving back to the larger community. Rob, that's one of the things that makes you special.
Yeah, I've always said, David, you know, practicing law is a really rewarding career. It's intellectually challenging, can be very rewarding financially. But one of the downsides of being a lawyer is it can make us pretty cynical on a day in and day out basis. And, you know, being cynical can be a positive for being a lawyer, but it's not always a great way to live your life. So I always urge young lawyers, you know, focus on what you're doing, do a good job for your clients, but also try and, you know, find joy along the way. In the final analysis, it makes you a better lawyer, and it also makes you a much happier person.
So there's more to the practice of law than being a lawyer. Outstanding. Rob, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Again, congratulations for being selected as a fellow, an honor well deserved. Thank you.
Well, thank you, David. And I'll just say, you know, in the end, it really is an honor. It's been an honor to serve the AHLA, and it's an honor to be a fellow in the AHLA. And to all the young lawyers out there, again, get involved, because you'll be surprised to find out what an open and welcoming organization it is, and what a great way it is to not only develop your career, but to make some wonderful friends along the way.
It's a great message. Thank you, Rob.
Absolutely.